CLP. You ever hear the phrase next man up? Well, for the Los Angeles Rams, that mantra is being tested in a tough way this training camp. One of their promising young defenders, rookie linebacker Chris Paul Jr., is struggling to get back on the field because of a calf injury that just won't quit. And that delay might change the linebacker battle in LA. Stick around, because today, we're breaking down what's going on with Chris Paul Jr., why his injury matters to the Rams, and what it means for their defense this season. Plus, we'll take a quick look at who's stepping up while Paul is sidelined. Before we jump in, make sure you hit that like button if you're an NFL fan, subscribe for more in-depth updates, and don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Are you worried about Paul's recovery? Let me know below. The NFL is a league of opportunity. For rookies especially, training camp and preseason are their big moments to prove they belong. But what happens when an injury sidelines you at the worst possible time? That's exactly the position Los Angeles Rams rookie linebacker Chris Paul Jr. finds himself in this summer. After being selected in the 5th round of the draft, fans had high hopes. The 6'2", 225-pound defender brings speed and athleticism, qualities that are highly coveted in today's NFL linebackers. He's someone who could make an immediate impact if he just had the chance. Unfortunately, a stubborn calf injury has kept Paul off the field during camp. The injury isn't healing as quickly as the Rams hoped, and that means Paul is falling behind in the battle for playing time at linebacker. Calf strains might not get the flashy headlines like ACL tears or broken bones, but they can be brutal, especially for athletes who rely on quickness and change of direction. For a linebacker like Chris Paul Jr., who needs to explode off the line and cover ground in space, a slow-healing calf can completely derail those capabilities. Rams head coach Sean McVay recently provided an update on Paul's condition. And while there was an optimistic tone about his toughness, McVay admitted that the recovery is taking longer than expected. "I think they tried to do a couple things with Reggie Scott and his group today," McVay said. "It wasn't exactly where we had hoped right now. I think the smart thing will be when he is ready to go, and then obviously we'll have our focus on some of those first preseason games. I think we were hoping that he would be a little bit further along. He's a tough kid. Sometimes these muscle strains can be tricky. That's where we're at with that right now." That statement tells you a lot. It's a mix of hope, patience, and realism. The Rams want Paul to heal fully so he can play at 100%, but there's a real chance he misses valuable reps early in the preseason, reps that are crucial for a rookie fighting for a spot on the roster. This isn't just about one player being injured. The linebacker position in LA is surprisingly competitive. Right now, Nate Landman and Omar Speights look to be running away with the 2 starting spots. That means Paul, along with veterans Troy Reeder and Shaun Dolac, are battling for whatever role remains. It's a crowded room, and missing practice reps and preseason games could make the difference between making the team, landing on the practice squad, or even being cut. For a rookie, preseason snaps are everything. They're the stage to show coaches you can handle the speed and complexity of the NFL. Without that, you're left relying on practice reps and film, which just isn't the same. So Paul's calf injury doesn't just slow down his healing. It slows down his opportunity to make an impression. Let's rewind a bit. Why were Rams fans and analysts so pumped about Chris Paul Jr. in the first place? For starters, his speed is a rare asset for a linebacker. In today's NFL, linebackers are asked to do it all, from run stopping to covering speedy tight ends and running backs. Paul has the athleticism, to be a dynamic playmaker, someone who can blitz, drop into coverage, and chase down ball carriers sideline to sideline. Plus, coming out of college, he showed a natural football IQ and instincts that made scouts believe he could develop quickly. All of this made Paul a solid fifth-round pick who many hoped could contribute on special teams early, then carve out a defensive role down the line. That potential is why the injury is such a tough pill to swallow. When you draft a player with upside like Paul, you want to see him on the field, making plays. Instead, the Rams and their fans are waiting and hoping he recovers fully. The good news for the Rams is that their linebacker group isn't without depth. Nate Landman and Omar Speights, as we mentioned, have been impressing. Both bring solid experience and toughness, and they're likely the early favorites for starting roles. Veteran Troy Reeder also brings leadership and versatility. He's proven he can play in different defensive schemes and contribute on special teams, which always helps keep a player's roster spot secure. Shaun Dolac, though lesser known, is another competitor in the mix who could see more action if Paul continues to rehab. The Rams coaching staff has some flexibility here, but depth is key in the NFL. Injuries happen. If Paul's recovery stalls, someone else has to step up. That's why the Rams need to balance their optimism about Paul's return with realistic contingency plans. You don't want to rush a player back from injury, only to risk a setback. But you also can't afford to have a hole in your linebacker group. As the Rams head toward the preseason, keep an eye on a few things. First, watch for any updates on Chris Paul Jr.'s progress. Will he be ready to suit up for the preseason opener? Will he get limited snaps? Or will the team hold him out until they're confident he's fully healed? Second, observe how the linebacker competition shapes up. If Paul misses significant time, Landman and Speights could lock down those starting roles, potentially making Paul a special teams player or depth option this season. Finally, watch how the Rams adjust their defensive packages and rotations without Paul in the mix early on. It could impact their flexibility and scheme options. Chris Paul Jr., this injury situation is a reminder of just how fragile and unpredictable an NFL rookie's path can be. From the moment you're drafted, the grind to make a team starts, and even a minor injury can throw a wrench in those plans. The Rams believed in Paul's talent and potential to contribute this year. Now they're waiting on his recovery, hoping for the best but preparing for every possibility. If you're a Rams fan, or just a fan of the NFL's underdog stories, this is one to watch. Will Chris Paul Jr. overcome this setback and emerge as a key piece for LA's defense? Or will he have to take a back seat and fight his way back next season? Only time will tell. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button, subscribe for more NFL updates, and share this video with your fellow football fans. And as always, drop your thoughts in the comments. What do you think about Chris Paul Jr.'s injury and the linebacker battle for the Rams? Let's get the conversation going. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next update. Period.